Do you ever wonder if your message is resonating with your ideal clients? Have you taken a moment since you started your business to audit your newest high value skill set? If not, I want to introduce a concept to you, and it is called message mastery. Now, what is message mastery? This is the art, science, and process of auditing where you are, where you used to be, and where you desire to drive your business. And so often, as busy solopreneurs or busy entrepreneurial women, we forget that sometimes the process of raising our prices or repackaging our brand can be as simple as looking at our message. And there are a lot of reasons why we don't revamp our message. It seems like it's an overhaul. It feels like it's going to take a lot of time. We think we've got to redo the entire website or update all of the things. And while that might be true, I want to invite you to think that some small tweaks might make a huge difference for how your brand resonates with your ideal clients. Now, there are some signs that you want to look for while you are auditing your brand to figure out if your message is not quite singing the way you want it to. Of course, the first thing is, are you attracting the clientele that you desire to serve? And that could be either from referrals, people saying, hey, this is what, Sybil does, versus here's this thing, and I actually enjoy serving in that strength, and I'm excited to talk about it, right? Is there a level of enthusiasm when you are telling people what it is you do, how you serve, and the ways that you're going to provide them an impeccable experience? Some other ways you can tell your message might not be quite mastered is if you realize after being in business 3, 4, 5, 10 years, that the skill sets people are connecting to you are no longer the things that you believe are your highest value. And guess what? That is supposed to happen. It's much like for those of us who left corporate, but before we left corporate, we ascended the corporate ladder, right? Every single time you got a promotion, you had to communicate differently about a different skill set. You had to highlight a different skill set. You're still the same person, you're still in that same industry, but how you approach the work, how you talked about the work you do, how you talked about the results people got from partnering with you sounded totally different as a generalist versus a specialist versus, a C-suite or VP. And so if you've not tweaked the messaging that you have, it might be a good time to think through that process and say, you know what? I no longer offer this. I offer this. Or while I offer these things over here, really what people are getting the maximum value from, the biggest transformation, is this skill set over here. And so often we forget that our brands do expand, they do evolve. And again, it comes because the more we serve, the more we learn, the more skills we have to then reinforce our brand. So when you're thinking about message mastery, I want you to deeply consider, when is the last time you audited your brand voice, and your content pillars, and what specific next steps you can start taking. This is also why anytime I partner with women like you, I include a brand audit. And there's a complimentary one in the comments below, but that brand audit really does just help you hygiene where you are and where you want to drive your brand next. And it also speaks to the fact, like, are you still talking about your core values in the same way, or have those somehow changed over time? Are you making sure to lean in to client-centric messaging, or are you focused more on your skill set and your background, right? Really holding ourselves accountable to creating content and messaging that puts the customer at the center of their journey instead of us being their hero, because our customers don't want to be saved. They don't need a hero from us. What they need is a map, a guide, an advisor, a mentor, a teammate, a partner, right? They need to be front and center of their journey and of their message. And your message should be creating space for them to live and breathe in that space that makes sense for them while you are partnering with them on success. So step one, if you've not done that in a while, be sure to audit your brand message, check those brand pillars, make sure it is telling a cohesive story. And then look at your personal brand. Are you still that same person who started serving years ago, or has your personal brand evolved, which means your messaging needs to evolve as well? I remember when I first started my business a couple of years ago, and I thought that people wanted me for my sage advice. So I was like whole hog in with sage green, the sage, all the things, sage wall. You see, it's no longer there because I thought that was what my highest value skill set was, and that's not what it was. The more I served, the more I realized that my clients wanted me for brand strategy. They needed the architecture behind how I built systems. They wanted my processes and my strategic mind. They didn't want a coach. They wanted a consultant who had solutions. So if this is you and you are watching and you're a coach or a consultant, even that might be a transition your brand's gone through and you haven't realized it yet because you have developed a new skill set that is sellable and something you should monetize. The next component of message mastery is going to be looking at your me persona. And I talked briefly about it, talking about that audit, but really thinking, who am I today? Do I reflect the kind of person my buyer wants to see? I attract elite business owners, females who know they want to build global brands, who are building legacies, who are elite in their industry. That is who I attract. So they automatically know that when I partner with them, they're going to get a bespoke experience, a white glove from start to finish process with them at the center of it. They know I'm going to be hands-on in their business, advocating for them, and then doing the protection on the back end to make sure that everything they built stands the test of time and that it is legacy worthy. So, what is your me persona? And I want to be very cautious and say that this is not this avatar that you make up or something that is outside of who you are. It needs to be a brand extension. Okay. Naturally, I am always called poised and under control and in step. So, of course, my brand should reflect those best parts of me that people always compliment me on. So when you think about your me avatar, what are the compliments people always give you? Do they say you're always full of wisdom? Do they say that you're always nurturing or caregiving? Whatever that is, just become the full embodiment of that, and your message will start to sing. Second to your me persona is going to be your client avatar. I partner with so many women and they have not reworked that client avatar since they started their business. And so I'm thinking, okay, let's take a step back. Is your attraction problem an issue because you've not adapted who you now attract to your new skill set that we just talked about? And so I want you to think through that process. Are you still attracting the same people because you don't know how to communicate that new skill set? Or were you never supposed to be working with them in the first place? And now you realize it the more you work in your business. Maybe you've decided it's time for a brand pivot and you want to enter a new market, or you want to figure out how to monetize what you're already doing even more because you love your industry. And so some of the things to think about that is, how are you attracting those clients and buyers? What social media platforms are they on? There are so many times that I work with women and they say, oh yeah, my clients are on LinkedIn, and I'm like, but are they really? And then we dig inside their brand audit and then we find out, no, your clients are on Pinterest or they're on Instagram or Facebook, right? So don't make assumptions because it's your favorite platform that is also your client's favorite platform. And I think this also goes to why it's so important as single entrepreneurs or entrepreneurs with small teams that we get really specific about what social media platforms we're going to have a presence on. There's so many big name gurus that say, oh yeah, be omnipresent. Y'all, they have omnipresent budgets. They have omnipresent teams that can post for them and on their behalf, right? Don't let automation become the detriment of your brand. I see so many automated messages come through my inbox and it's got like the $ name, $ or hashtag last name, right? Failed automation. Don't let that be you. Your brand is more valuable than AI ruining your reputation because it did not replace the person's first name or last name with the filler language. I cannot say how many times I have gotten messages, automated messages that say Stewart, because that is my last name and my last name is a first name, right? Little things like that will trip you up and ruin your brand. So if this is you, make sure that while you're building out that client persona, you're also thinking about what touch points those clients are going to value the most, that are in alignment with your brand and in alignment with the experience that you're going to generate for them. All of that is a part of message mastery. The third thing I want you to think about is your signature talk. If you are a female founder and you are not a speaker yet, I need you to put in the chat, Sybil, I want to speak, right? Comments below, Sybil, I want to speak. Speaking is a multi-billion-dollar business, and most women do not know how to leverage their voice to get compensated. I remember when I first decided to add speaking as a part of my brand portfolio, which is something that we're going to talk about in another video, but building that brand portfolio so that my exact same skill set went across every single avenue of the work I do. This is not about rebuilding, this is about brand expansion. And one really great way to expand your brand is to get out there and speak. Even if you're stage shy, even if you're, historically not somebody who wants to be in front of the camera, that sort of thing. I'm not saying you got to do the keynote at the next inaugural, but like, let's figure out other smaller stages that make sense for your brand and your voice and give you the ability to be front and center in front of the people that you want to serve or the decision makers who are working on their behalf. The other thing is this: monetizing your speaking voice can be a really quick way to generate some last minute income, especially as you think about Q4. Okay, so at the time of this filming, we are about to go into Q4 2024, and I'm already pre-booked for January, February, and March 2025. Why? Because of speaking. That also means I get my deposits now, which helps buffer in when the season starts to slow down. So if you've not decidedly figured out how to include speaking inside your business and inside your brand portfolio, today I want you to start thinking about that thing with intention. What does that look like? It looks like creating a signature talk. And the great thing about a signature talk is that it encompasses everything you're known for. It highlights your me avatar, and it puts you again in front of your ideal persona. When I think about signature talks, it's that thing that you don't mind seeing over and over again, right? It's going to be the best speech you always give because you rehearsed it. And when you think about message mastery, a lot of women don't have that rehearsed thing. They don't have those 5 jokes that they always tell in the same order. They don't have those 3 steps that their clients always get. They don't have that one transformation soundbite nailed down. And so message mastery is about honing in that way, turning it into that signature talk as an added bonus, and it provides you great copy and content for your social media, for your sales pages, for your emails, for your newsletters, for your blog, whatever that thing is. That signature talk is the core and the foundation of every other piece of content that you have. And the best part is it leans into your brand pillars, right? Now, this is not the brand pillar video, but brand pillars are simply the pillars on which your brand and brand messaging stand on. So my brand pillars, for example, obviously I talk a lot about personal branding, but one of my brand pillars is exclusivity. Okay. So I know I'm not for everyone. Maybe one of your brand pillars is education, like mine. I believe in education first, through service. Another one of my brand pillars is service. And so beyond all of this, I do what I call I care content, which is, of course, this video. I do image consulting because I want to serve outside of the work that I do day in and day out. So really leaning into how do my brand content pillars and my brand pillars feed into my signature talk based off of the messages that I want to share with the world. And then the last thing that I want to talk about when it comes to message mastery is pricing. And pricing can be a real sticky point for so many of my women in business. But I want to say this, and I say this with gentle kindness: if you don't look like an exclusive brand, then you should not be expecting exclusive pricing. And I don't say that to be unkind, y'all, but it really sends a mixed message when you are disheveled, wrinkled, and look like you don't care about yourself and you want somebody to spend $100,000 on your product. It sends a real big mixed message when you say, I am bespoke, high-end, and exclusive, and then you've got some typos in your social media and your email. So get really clear about who you serve, because you can make money in all ranges, okay? I think there are a lot of big ticket coaches out there saying, go high ticket, go to high ticket. And not everybody is high ticket. If you're not a high ticket shopper, then you don't know what it is to be a high ticket person, right? I don't say, oh, I offer high ticket and then I've never had a high ticket experience. I don't tell people I've got a first class experience and then I grumble about first class pricing, right? So when you're thinking through your pricing model and strategy, it is okay to accept your pricing model for what it is, whatever that looks like, and then own that. There are so many course creators right now who are banking on the fact that only 20% of the people who buy their course are actually going to do anything with it. And you know what? They're still multimillionaires. Okay. They figured out a way to message, brand, and send into the masses for people to buy a $25 course or a $50 course. And for them, that's a toss away. For this business owner, it's $1 million in the bank and they've done nothing for a transformation. That's okay too. That's a business model. Pick the pricing that matches the level of service and the value of the transformation that you offer. If the value of your transformation is $100,000, then price accordingly. If you want to dig in deep and churn and burn through courses, then smaller transformations, smaller price point. Get clear about what your key value offer is and then price to that. Do not get in the habit of idolizing these $1 million coaches who think who tell you, oh, you just raise your price. If you raise your price without believability, no one's going to buy from you. There, I said it. And you can take that one to the bank. So if you have enjoyed any of this video, Message Mastery might be the cohort for you. What does this cohort look like? Well, I love to tell you because why? Bold Women Brand. And Bold Women Brand Message Mastery is going down on October 15th, okay? This is going to be the day that everything can change in your business if you give yourself permission. I'm going to drop a link in the description for you to apply and learn more. Again, cohort, small, exclusive. You will get high quality service with me, value added. I remember talking to a lady who went through it and she said, Sybil, this is about $12,000 worth of value. And I said, I am not about to charge these women $12,000 for this. But it was really great to know that that's the value that she got when she went through the process. It is not $12,000, so breathe easy, but you will still have one-on-one access with me. You will be inside a community of like-minded women entrepreneurs who want to build global stages, right? This is for the ambitious women. This is not for women who want to take the sideline or the back seat. All right, so link in the description. I hope you enjoyed this video and stay tuned because I've got some more coming around the Message Mastery cohort for Bold Women Brand. Until next time, my name is Sybil. If you liked any of these things that I talked about today, don't forget that like and subscribe because somebody else might need that like and need this video so they can go and build their legacy brand. Bye for now.